Is it a struggle each month to get ahead financially? Are you tired of not having enough money to do the things you want? Or maybe investing for the future feels out of reach. If so, this video is for you. I'm about to share the ultimate money hack, zero-based budgeting, that will help you unlock a better and less stressful future in 3 simple steps. Hi, I'm Courtney, founder of Thrive at Money, and I'm here to help you unlock your wealth potential by teaching you how zero-based budgeting can fundamentally change your life and allow you to take control of your finances. This is not just another money hack that's all talk and no substance. It's a proven strategy that will set you on the path to saving money and reaching financial freedom. So stay till the end, where in step 3, I share an example that will change your perspective on the way you spend forever. Let's dive right in. Step 1, what is zero-based budgeting? Zero-based budgeting is a powerful financial tool that helps individuals, households, and businesses to ensure their income covers their expenses and allows them to plan for the future. The idea behind zero-based budgeting is simple. You must allocate every dollar of your budget with an assigned purpose or expense. The foundation of zero-based budgeting begins with creating a spending plan by listing all expected sources of income along with all expected expenses, such as rent or your mortgage, utilities, transportation costs, food, insurance premiums, and savings contributions. Then you subtract your expenses from your income to ensure the total is balanced. You can allocate any money left over towards savings or discretionary spending goals. So income minus expenses minus savings goals to equal 0. Zero-based budgeting is beneficial because it helps ensure you live within your means and track where each dollar is spent, allowing you to plan for future expenses, emergency funds, and investments. Additionally, it encourages individuals to think critically about their budgets and make more informed decisions about spending their money. It's also an excellent way to start discerning between needs, such as rent, food, and transportation, and wants, things like travel and entertainment, within the budget. Zero-based budgeting is a powerful tool for creating financial stability by ensuring no money goes unspent or unaccounted for. Also, by actively managing finances, zero-based budgeting can help individuals reach their short-term and long-term financial goals by creating an actionable roadmap for their money. But how is zero-based budgeting different from a standard budget? Zero-based budgeting starts to get interesting because once laid out, it clearly paints a protective box around your budget, keeping you financially solvent and working towards your goals. A fundamental principle of zero-based budgeting is that if you want to grow one line item in your budget, then you have 3 options. 1, reduce another category. 2, increase your income. Or 3, go into debt. With a change in line item spending choices, the overall budget doesn't change unless you increase income. You simply change the plan for the other allocations as you want the results of income minus expenses minus savings goals to equal 0. This method is powerful because it provides a tool to make your choices more intentional. It can also uncover the areas where you are going against the plan because you can see what buckets you're moving money in and out of. This can help you create more realistic category allocations or an action plan around habit change to ensure you reach your goals. Zero-based budgeting can also show you why your savings goals are being dashed every month because that often becomes the pirated category to cover overages. The advice to pay yourself first or put your money in your savings goals first was born because it's very easy to spend money not in use or allocated for the future when needs or wants exist today. Here is an example of how zero-based budgeting is intended to work when a deviation from the plan or budget occurs. For this example, we'll assume your water heater has just failed and needs to be replaced for $1,200, and you only have $800 in your emergency fund. In this case, we must determine where the other $400 will be funded from. Generally, you will first look at your want or savings categories, selecting a bucket with time to recover before that specific cost hits. Here, you try to avoid pulling from a needs category like groceries for the month. If there isn't somewhere to draw from, this is where you may incur a debt, meaning you have no savings to pull from. Now let's walk through an example to show you this powerful feature of zero-based budgeting on a more day-to-day basis. And stay with me until the end where I share an example that will fundamentally change your approach to spending. Step 2, proactive decisions using the power of zero-based budgeting. If any overspending in a given category is going to occur, you will follow the same process as the emergency example I just gave. You must select the categories you will pull to cover the extra expense. An often overlooked superpower of the zero-based budgeting system is that you want to make these decisions before you spend. Say you're having a dinner party and you know that will push you over your grocery budget for the month. This is the point where you need to make a decision. Before going to the store, you decide which other budget category this overrun will come from. Proactively choosing the cost shift uncovers what is most important in your budget. For example, do you pull from your travel fund for the dinner party or the new pair of shoes you're saving for? It can also give you the reflection point to say you don't want to overrun your current budget category because the only place you can cover this cost is with debt or a need within your budget, and you curb your overspending. After selecting not to overspend, but still wanting to host your dinner party, this is where you might move the dinner party to a potluck and still have the experience, but reduce the costs. These realizations often happen when we identify we only have need categories to cover wanted expenses. As I alluded to before, the most common mistake people make when using zero-based budgets, or really any budget, is spending without looking at the bucket they should or could pull from. Instead, they only decide which category will cover the extra expense after they spend or even go into debt to cover the overspending. This reactive method defeats the purpose of giving every dollar a purpose and is contrary to the plan created, ultimately undermining their zero-based budget. The best way to implement this method is by creating a habit of looking at your budget before spending. You can use a simple spreadsheet for this, or I use a program called YNAB, or You Need a Budget, to help me manage this process so I can access my information anywhere I go and make informed and proactive decisions. There are other methods to force the decisions needed in zero-based budgeting, including the cash envelope system or using an electronic cash envelope method like Cube Money. I've included links to these resources in the description below, along with a link to my video where I discuss the pros and cons of these different software applications. As you get time and practice working in your zero-based budget, both of these scenarios will help you start identifying the vampires that are stealing from your goals and forward progress each month. It can also help you learn where to change your behaviors to support your plan. Examples of positive habit change would be to start an emergency fund to cover unexpected items, or simply create an "I forgot to budget for this" line item. However, I would encourage you to dive deep into that category as time goes on to actually budget in the future for those things you initially forgot to include. When used correctly, this budgeting method helps you proactively keep things in line and offers the flexibility to roll with the punches that life throws at you. Now, I'll share an even more impactful, little-used secret of zero-based budgeting that can change your life. Step 3, the secret of zero-based budgeting, targeting in. Zero-based budgeting gets really powerful when investigating every line item in your budget for its right size. And before you groan about how much work this could take, hear me out, because learning the impact of this method completely changed my mindset and life. The secret lies in the origins of zero-based budgeting. This system was developed in the 1970s by Peter Fire, a manager at Texas Instruments, for businesses, eliminating the process where existing budgets are just continued year to year without questioning the existing spending and just adding costs to the top. With zero-based budgeting, each dollar requested for the fiscal year had to be justified, forcing leaders to look hard at the necessity of spending any dollar, old or new. As a result, it became a popular financial planning tool for companies looking to eliminate unnecessary expenses and better allocate resources. It has since been successfully adapted for personal finance use. Using this method for our personal budget, we want to right size our budget line items, questioning all expenditures to ensure they meet our goals, not just an assumption of what we should do. This deep dive of analysis can be on an annual or monthly basis. But before you discount the power of this method because of the work or cutting you think is involved, listen to the following example. I promise it will change how you look at your budget and needs. Let me work through an example that affects everyone. Housing. Your life may be at a stage where you want more room at home. You're working from home, recently married, or your family is expanding. Or you want a bigger place to host Saturday football get-togethers or your famous dinner parties. I get it. We all need some elbow room. Adulting is seriously hard. Let's look at the impact of moving from a one-bedroom to a two-bedroom apartment. Since I'm in Denver, we'll use the current averages here. The average rent on a one-bedroom apartment is $1,702. Average rent on a two-bedroom apartment is $2,337. The delta is $635 a month or $7,620 a year. I don't know about you, but that's a huge cost increase per year. So let's say you were able to save that $635 a month rather than moving and just put it in an interest-bearing savings account earning 3.5%. Yes, these do exist. See the description for the link to where to find these. You would have $7,755 in your account in just 1 year. If you put that calculation out 5 years using the same assumptions and a 3% rent increase year over year, you could save $44,000 in just 5 years. Wow. Okay, maybe you're past the time for renting and want to buy. Maybe you're looking for an extra room for guests or an office to accommodate you working from home. Again, for this example, we'll use the Denver market costs. The median listing home price per square foot in Denver in spring of 2023 is $367. Yes, I'm in a high cost of living area. If you assume a standard bedroom size is 11 feet by 11 feet or 121 square feet, this will equal $44,407 for this extra room. So if you have to take out an additional $44,400 in mortgage to get an additional bedroom, the extra cost on a 30-year mortgage at 6.5% interest rate would be a total of $101,506. This amounts to the $44,400 loan and $57,106 in interest. Or said another way, an additional monthly payment of $280 a month. So this is significantly less than renting, but it certainly has a big impact with interest over the 30 years. Looking at the full financial impact of this example, if you had put this $280 a month into a savings account earning just 3.5% each month for those 30 years, you would have $178,320 and maybe roughly 70 cents. A $77,500 increase in value. Now, if you put that $280 a month away in an investment account earning 7% per year that reinvests the earnings or has compound interest for those 30 years, then you would have $343,897 or a $243,000 increase in value with interest. So the total for this extra room over the 30 years is almost $500,000. Yes, $500,000 for 121 square feet. So small changes can make a huge difference in your life over time. So how do you go about looking at your housing costs with purpose? Here is where you need to start with the basic living assessment. You need a place to sleep, a small kitchen, a bathroom, and add in a small living space. This might not be what you're used to, but don't assume what you have is what you really need. From here, you will want to evaluate what you will use the additional spaces for and how often. Do you need that extra bedroom if you only have house guests a few times per year? If it's a space you can use daily as a home office and work elsewhere the few times a year you have guests, maybe that space is worth the added expense. You can take the same evaluation on living near the people or activities you like to go to. If living near family means you're in a very high cost of living area and you only see your family a few times a year, maybe living in a low or lower cost of living area could mean your overall budget is lower. Also, allowing you to afford to see your family a few times a year by traveling. Again, the goal is to right-size our budget line items to meet our overall goals more quickly. When doing these deep dive evaluations, your time is best spent on the big impact items like housing, transportation, including vehicle costs, leases, maintenance, fuel, parking, etc., and food. Any area in your budget that takes up more than 20% is an excellent place to start. It's also important to not let society, guilt, or thoughts of what you should do get in the way, but decide what is right for you. To overview how you unlock financial freedom using the zero-based budgeting method, follow these 3 simple steps. 1. Set up your budget so $0 are unallocated at the end of the month. 2. Make proactive decisions before you spend. 3. Right-size each line item in your budget, investigating the needs based on your current situation. These steps might take some time, and you don't have to have it all perfect on day 1. But take the biggest impact items first, or the things that are easy to change, and work from there. It's essential to remember that budgeting is an ongoing process and requires regular monitoring and adjustments to stay on track. With dedication and effort, zero-based budgeting can be a helpful tool for achieving financial independence. For more, watch this next video.